Zach Lomax with the honour of kicking things off here at Amy Park. Sunday afternoon footy underway, and Stefano bringing it back with purpose. And look at that welcoming committee. Now Pappenhausen with the footwork. Oh, Pappenhausen delightful, and that's a try. Knocked down by Parramatta, and Pappy pounces.
Yeah, it's play on. Pappenhausen pounces again. Just sharp off that left foot, straightens the attack. And the ricochet off Volkman. Pappenhausen's there.
Munster change of direction for Howarth this time. He was out the other side, but no one looming in support for any offload. Munster again. Oh! A front rower goes over untouched. The deception of Munster sets up Josh King, and he's into double figures now in his career for tries. Only a hang time down to Pappenhausen. Chase looks pretty good from Parramatta. Garner's gone on to replace Tulangi already on that edge. And look at Coates go. Xavier Coates, brilliance! On the right wing all of a sudden. Meany says kick it inboard, and Xavier accepts the tackle. Slip work by Grant out of dummy half again. Gets the offload from Liero. Back to the right for Pappenhausen. Lightning quick. Oh! Munster would have been under the post. Pappenhausen thought the dummy was on, but Parramatta didn't buy it. Hughes tries to crash over, spits it out the back, and Parramatta dive on the footy. Grant for Munster to hang it up. Lost in the sun, and Coates! Oh, he pulled off the try of the year last year at Amy Park, and this one's pretty handy as well. Munster for Katoa. Straightens things up the back rower. Oh, it's oh so easy for Melbourne, but he can't find the support runner, and he didn't need to. Slipped out of the tackle, and Eli Katoa runs 40 metres for another try for Melbourne. Still two more plays left in this set as Munster goes to Pappenhausen, throws the dummy, and space opens up. Links with Howarth. Jack Howarth down the sideline. Hopeful ball, finds the mark! Off a Parramatta hand, Coates gets on the end of it. This is awesome footy. They are standing at Amy Park for their Melbourne Storm. Look at Melbourne. Oh, beautiful hands again. Meany strolls through. This time the support inside, and the captain joins the party with a four-pointer. Harry Grant. Pass hits the deck. Who wants it? Intercept. Meany. He'll take some catching. He's got support from Warbrick. Here comes Russell from the clouds, chasing down Meany. He'll run away from him and score another one. Brown to kick wide. Tungle to rise! And Parramatta have their moment in the first half. Pappenhausen makes it 4 or 5 on this side. Beautifully designed, and Pappy scores! Deadly. Parramatta never saw it coming. And trying to set up a play on the left. Receives from Volkman. Yongi throws the intercept. Here's the chance for Warbrick in game number 50. Riley Smith is chasing. He's out of his league, you'd reckon, against Warbrick. Lomax chases in vain. And it's a try in game number 50 for the Kiwi. To Blore. Gets the arm around the corner. That went backwards and then off the back of Lomax, so it's okay. And Howarth positioning Coates. Didn't pass. Still going Howarth. Here comes Hughes alongside him. He'll use the halfback instead. And gets a set restart. And on the ball, said the referee. Yongi gives it to Penasini this time. And Will Penasini is over. Volkman finds his halves partner. Yongi slices through, and Warbrick trying to hold him up. Referee says it's a try to the fullback on his Parramatta debut. The round one specialists have done it again. 23 wins in a row in the opening round of an NRL season for the Melbourne Storm. They are ready to go again.
Craig, how good did that one feel?
Yeah, obviously, it was a good win, and you have a look at that scoreboard, and never really sort of, you wouldn't have thought that was going to be the case. Obviously, our first start, we got off to a really good start, and we were, really building pressure. Nearly all that half, and so I was really happy with how we handled that. The second half it is hard to for them to come out and go flat out again. That's what we sort of wanted to do, but it sort of fizzled out a bit, the game in the second half, I thought. But like I say, I couldn't be too critical. I thought our first half was we started exactly the way that we wanted to start, and then we just continued on with that for the rest of the 40 minutes.
Did you feel like fatigue started to set in in the second half? It was 35 degrees. It really was so hot out there.
Yeah, it was always going to be tough for both teams, with conditions. That's hot, 35 degrees. And so, we were just hoping. I think the possession was even in the first half. I think, both sides, completed about 75% or whatever. So it was pretty even. So, I think, probably both teams, tied a little bit the second half, which is only natural. And, like I say, as I said, the second half, certainly wasn't nowhere near as many points, from both sides in the second half. But I think, as you say, the weather conditions probably took a little toll after the first half.
How pleasing was it to see Ryan Papenhuyzen devastating what he did?
Yeah, that first half, I think that's probably the quickest and the most slick he's looked, since he's come back. Since, he's had a horrific run of injuries. Like they haven't been just 2 or 3 weekers. They've been, 3 or 4 months. And so I'd like to say, to come back how he has, it just goes to show, the amount of work he's willing to put in, and I suppose his patience as well. Like I say, his first half here this afternoon, it was outstanding, and I'm sure he'll only get a bit better from here, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll have a good injury run.
Has he and Munster had a falling out or something?
What happened?
With that bombed try.
Yeah. I don't know. They might have had a bet on who was going to score the first try. Then I don't know. It wasn't like Paps, to be quite honest. I imagine the other way around. Munster would show and go himself, try and score the try himself. But Paps is not usually like that. But hopefully it won't happen again.
You mentioned yesterday you wanted to see an improvement in defence. Obviously they got a couple of late tries. So
Yeah.
pretty happy with that.
Yeah, especially during the trials, I thought, I'm not quite sure what it was, whether it was a bit of system or whether it was just a bit of lack of effort, and knowing it's trials, and perhaps it's not as important as a competition game, but really wanted to see that improve. And like I say, I was a little bit disappointed in them scoring a couple of tries in the second half. But having said that, can't be too hard on them. The way they played the first half, and I think they only scored there right on half time. So it was just a really good performance, that first half.
How did you see Munster's performance today? There was a lot of talk about him coming back with leaner and fitter, particularly after the double hip surgery. How did you see?
Yeah, I thought he was one of our best players today. I thought, he has been fully invested, in the pre-season, and he's just a bit light. I don't think he's lost any strength or any, certainly not any speed. He hasn't got a lot of that to lose anyway. But like I say, I just, he just took the game on, a whole heap today. And I think that's when he's playing his best footy. And just losing a couple of kilos, I think, has really helped him, do that.
Was there a conversation that he had with you in the off-season about, coming back or wanting to do his intention, or was it just something he decided to do?
We had a bit of a chat about, a couple of things, but certainly, I didn't sort of say, you need to lose some weight, I'm not quite sure whether, his partner Bianca might have thrown, threw something in there. I'm not quite sure, but at the end of the day, he come back and I think, I'm not quite sure this is right, but I think Bianca might have said, you're going to lose weight in like he said, like he was going, that was his plan. And I think Bianca said, "You'll never do that." So he got his back up, and he did. So yeah, like I say, I think it's really helped him, and obviously he's a lot fitter and a lot more able to get involved. Which the more he's involved, the better we're going to be.
How did it feel out there? You guys like on the field, the first half seemed it was a dream, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it was good to have some footy back, and I just what sort of I enjoyed or what was pleasing. It was you didn't have to worry about anyone else doing their role. It was just go out and do your job in the present moment, and I feel like we really did that as a team. That's a team mindset, and I think that's a really pleasing thing from today. I know we put some points on the board, but they weren't really off set plays or trick plays. They were sort of just playing our game, and everyone just doing their role within our system, both sides of the ball. So I think on the conditions wise, it was very warm. Definitely took a toll, and then we had some positional changes. So yeah, that second half probably could have been a whole lot better with the way we went about things. But in saying that, you always knew that Parramatta were going to get a response after half time.
How hungry is a win like that to start the season that way? In fact, you had the run change, Stefano, that unit, the galvanising that squad, you guys, it felt like, it looks like you guys are just so close. Like, how can you give us sort of an insight into that dressing room?
Yeah, it's a pleasing thing, I guess. In a position that we probably haven't been in for a number of years, where we probably haven't lost too many players from our top 17. We sort of added Steph and a number of guys that are sort of playing reserve grade have played some footy last year and are much better for the run. We've seen the likes of Tyron Wishart, Grant Anderson, Jack Howarth, Jonah Pezzit's come back from a knee injury. Those guys are all a lot more experienced from last year's season, and yeah, I think it's just about having that balance of staying hungry as a group and going after something together. It's a clean slate really for us. So I think that's sort of the way we started today. The pre-season we've had, it's one sort of notch on the board, but there's plenty in front of us. So we'll just take it week by week and look to get better where we can.
Harry, how important is it mentally to get that first game out of the way and with such a positive result after last season?
Yeah, I think it shows, I guess, that a lot of people care about where we're at as a team and what's important to us, and it's performing well. It's turning up every day, looking to get better, and putting the team first at whatever we do. I think it probably a lot of guys were keen to play some footy, but like I said, that last year's result is in the past. It's last year, and we can just take our learnings from it, and we've got a clean slate now, and we're not guaranteed to be back there, and that's a long time away. So we just got to keep turning up week to week and day to day and getting the best out of ourselves, and just enjoying the journey that's ahead, because there's a lot of footy to be played, and there's a lot of good times ahead for us.
Craig, Jack Howarth looks like he's going to take his game to another level this year. Outstanding performance today.
Yeah, he's had a lot better pre-season than previously. He's always been a very talented athlete, big, strong and quick. I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying this, but I think, the couple of years before, it was like he was expecting it just to happen without putting some work in. Without doubt, this has been his best pre-season. Like he come ready right at the start of it to put some hard work in, and you can just see, the result of that hard work out there today. He was cramping up a bit, but I think he had more moves than anybody else in our team, and I think he had 17 runs, so that's a really high amount for a centre. But like I said, I think he sort of took him a little bit to realise that just natural talent just doesn't do it for you. You know, you put the hard work in and put the time and effort, and that's what he's done. And you know, he's reaping the rewards. He was really hard to handle out there today.
Craig, I mentioned like the bias hasn't come at a good time, so how do you kind of set up your week leading into the Panthers game?
Yeah, again, it's you know, to get a bye round 2 is not ideal. But you know, it is what it is. So that's what the hand we've been dealt. So we'll deal with it, and you know, we'll come back in for a couple of days tomorrow and Tuesday, and then we'll give them a few days off. Come back over the weekend, and you know, start preparing for our next game, you know, which is against Penrith. So, like I said, you know, it is what it is. So we've just got to try and make the most of it, and you know, make the best of it.
Jason, obviously a tough outing, but to win the second half, how pleasing was that for you? You asked them at half-time to have pride in the jersey. That was a great takeaway?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest takeaway for us. I thought a lot of things improved for us in the second half, and it was based around our intent into contact. So, yeah, but we've had a lot of change and a lot of change in personnel. The program's changed, and then I've tried to change a lot of things that we're doing on the field. So it's going to take time, and I think a lot of that's sort of back onto me, because there's periods of the game there where, you know, we had some really good periods, and then and then we just sort of fell away, and obviously come up against a quality opposition tonight in the Storm. So they're not the Premiership favourites for no reason, and they made us pay for our little errors. So, but at the end of the day, I think there's some real, dare I say, positives to come out of it. But at the same time, we've still got a way to go in regards to where we want to get to.
Was that the message then? It was just that, you know, stick at it. It's going to take some time, and it will come together. Sort of giving the confidence that it will eventuate. Definitely,
yeah. So I take full responsibility in regards to the amount of change that I've brought to the club. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. So, yeah, I've got no doubt that over the course of time and the buy-in that the players have given us has been enormous. So it's one of those things that we've got a tough lesson tonight. But like you said, we had a dramatic improvement in the second half in parts of our game, in particular our contact, and you know, we've seen what we're capable of in little periods of the game.
With Mitch being ruled out midweek, was that a disruption in, like, had he been training had he been off his foot anyway?
He'd been out for a couple of weeks. He'd been unloaded. So when did he? Yeah. So he trained that Friday. So we unloaded him, and then we slowly built him back up to get ready for round 1. And then we had just a little bit of an incident, which wasn't, what we didn't expect to have on the Friday before we had a few days off. So, simply we had been preparing without him, but we were hoping that he was going to play. To be fair to say, yeah.
Craig kind of said that he thought you guys had been working on your, speed of the ball around the ruck and that, but that seemed to be an area that they dominated. Was that the case for you guys? There had been a focus, but
yeah, no, we've definitely been working on that. We've been working on a lot of parts of our game, and that's been one of them, or two of them. But it's they went in a shandy of winning the Premiership last year, and they've strengthened their group, their list. So it's just a reflection of where we're at right at the minute, but we'll improve.
Jason, a couple of penalties early probably didn't help you. It just gave Storm a bit of a run on.
Yeah, definitely. And we didn't help ourselves early, and especially they come to a part of the field where we knew they'd come, and we probably didn't aim up as well as we'd like to. So that's certainly a lesson for us. And then when teams get momentum like that, the bounce of the ball starts to go their way, and they get their penalties and that type of thing. So that's footy.
What was the reasoning behind the 47 missed tackles throughout the game, particularly obviously in that first half?
Yeah, the reason, I think I sort of said that earlier, our commitment to contact early in that first half, or during that first half, was probably not where it needs to be. And but the second half we turned around. Within 15 minutes we went back out there and we turned it all around. And in regards to our missed tackle, I think we had 30 in the first half and 17 in the second half. So that's obviously a massive improvement, and it was on the back of what I said earlier.
Jason, what did you learn today about about yourself in terms of this head coaching role? I mean, it was your first game as well.
Yeah, no, it's I'm not. I won't say I'm sitting here and I'm wondering what to do, because I know that having someone like Nathan Brown next to me who's done this numerous times has been a great resource for me. So, but I'm sitting here, I'm seeing all the little parts of where I know we're going to get better. We've got some players that we had 2 debutants. Isaiah's played 1 game, and that is not an excuse at all. But it's the reality of it is they need to play more footy, and the only way they're going to get to play more footy is if we put them out on the field with these guys. So, and I know that they're not going to be flash of the pan players. They're going to be around for a number of years if they keep tracking the way they are. So it's a process, and what I learned about myself, it's just get back to it, and we'll work hard again on Monday, and continuous improvement's a real mantra of ours, and that's something we're going to keep working on.
Junior, what about the team buying into what Jason's just said there, and the belief as well? Can you speak from players' point of view?
Yeah, well, we saw glimpses of it in the second half. We challenged ourselves to respond in that second half, and it's a clear indication of what we know we're capable of. But it's a game of 2 halves. You can't give up a head start like that in the first half. Obviously, with a good team like Melbourne, I was going to be on the back foot, and I thought just the response, that we were challenged with to start that second half, sort of just dripped all the way through, and there's definitely a lot of positives to take out from that. And like we said, we'll go back Monday and have a look at everything and move on to next week.